Hello, Cashae. What brings you in to see me today?
Well, I've been feeling a little stressed out in my life about career and school, and I just feel confused about a lot of stuff.
Feel confused, feel a little stressed.
Mhm.
What about school makes you feel stressed?
I don't know if it's going to be worth it
Worth it to.
to get a degree, to spend
Okay.
the time and the money to pursue an education where, like, a lot of people don't use their degrees, or I don't want to find out that I don't like what I'm studying, or
Mhm.
it's just hard to tell.
So do you worry that you'll get through and finish it and then realize, oh, I don't really know if I want to do this or not?
Yeah, and I also feel like I don't want to get through it and be seen as like an expert of my field, but have not learned anything because I was just trying to get a grade and not really trying to learn.
So you're worried about exactly how well you're doing in school in terms of actually comprehending instead of just kind of going through the motions and things like
Exactly.
that. Okay. So you say you're also stressed out about your career as well
Yes.
after school
Yes.
because you're not sure what you want to do.
Because the job market is real crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have any idea what you're looking to be doing?
I want to work with kids,
Or work with kids?
but I don't want to be a teacher.
Okay. Have you
Yeah.
thought about other things that you could work with kids with?
Yeah, I've been looking into child life specialty, but it's kind of one of those careers where you don't just graduate and then show up to a hospital with your resume and get a job. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's like one of those long term things where you just gotta get experience. But if you've never had jobs, like you don't have experience, but people won't hire you to get experience, and I'm
Right.
just afraid I will never get there.
What makes you feel so afraid? Do you think that you won't get there?
Well, I've been having trouble getting a job even now.
Okay.
Yeah. So I feel unhireable.
Hmm. What makes just the fact that you can't get a job makes you feel unhireable, or is there anything else that maybe like personal that you don't feel like you're qualified?
It's mostly just not being able to get a job.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I have a lot of good skills, and I only pursue jobs where I feel like, ooh, I'd be good for that. So I'm not putting myself in a position to compete with people who I know I don't look good next to.
Mm-hmm.
But even still, no luck.
How does it make you feel when you don't get a job?
It makes me feel like I'm never going to have one. It makes me feel hopeless.
Hopeless?
Yeah.
Each and every time?
Not each and every time, but just every couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You can only be positive for so long.
Yeah, it starts to wear you down a little bit.
Uh-huh.
I can see that.
Yeah.
So is there anything else besides your career and school that's really stressing you out right now?
I'm getting a little bored of school. I'm ready to be done, but then I'm
Mm-hmm.
like nervous to be done because that means, oh, real life. So it's kind of like catch 22.
Hmm. So tell me a little bit more about why you're kind of getting done, like feeling emotionally spent on school.
Because it's been a long time. I think this is my fifth year pursuing a bachelor's degree. So fifth year in college, plus
Okay.
the all the primary school and everything. It just feels
Mm-hmm.
like, all right, when am I this educated person who's qualified to have a real job?
Right.
But then I also don't want to be that person yet because I don't know if I'm prepared. But yeah.
You don't feel like school is preparing you the way it should be?
Um, no, I feel like school will only get you so far. It's your education plus your experience, and I'm trying to get experience doing many different things, and I can't. So I feel like, oh, school is the option, but it kind of feels like I'd like to have like experience in the education and training part too together.
So in your life right now, you kind of feel like things are snowballing in the sense of also school isn't going exactly the way you want it to, and then also you're having trouble finding jobs. So it's kind of one thing after another that's making you feel the way you are.
I mean, I feel like school's going the way I want it to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm graduating in May, and that'll be exciting. But yeah, I'm nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's like your home life? Is your home life pretty fulfilling, or is it?
Yes.
Yes.
I say my home life is pretty fulfilling, other than living at home
You wish you were living.
on my own. Sometimes I feel like a loser because I'm 23 and I'm still at home, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's the average situation now with living in California and being a student, and the job market is not so hot.
Mm-hmm.
But I still feel like, what can I do more? I feel kind of like I need to pick up the slack.
Okay. Sounds like you're putting little like pressure on yourself, just in terms of maybe moving out of the house and
Mm-hmm.
also your job and finishing school. Do you feel like there's a lot of pressure on you at this point in your life?
Yeah, I do. I feel like this weird sense of pressure, and then I feel kind of, the pressure makes me feel a little stagnant. Like my life is not really moving.
Like if you're not doing something each and every day, you're not
To reach
moving
my goals.
And how do you feel on a day like that? Like when you're kind of feeling stagnant, how does that make you feel?
I feel disappointed in myself. Like then I start comparing myself to other people who, have better jobs or who can afford to do nice stuff, or people who seem to have it all together.
Mm-hmm.
I start comparing myself to them.
Okay. Have you always kind of compared yourself to other people? Has that been something you've always done?
Yeah, I think it's pretty natural to compare yourself to people a lot.
And do you feel like you're usually coming up short, or does it kind of just depends on your period in your life?
It depends, but I feel like for a long time, in high school, I felt like I was at the top of the class. Like I felt like I knew what I wanted to do,
Mm-hmm.
and I was a good student. And now I feel like I'm just kind of averaging out as far as like being 23 and just like I don't really know what my passion is, or I feel just average.
What did you feel like you wanted to do back in high school?
I felt like I wanted to be a performer in the theater. That was kind of like my first love in high school. I did a lot of shows and took a year off from school, from between high school and college, to pursue theater. And I thought that was, like really where I was supposed to be in my life and where I would be most successful. But it's kind of like taking a back burner role, whatever that saying is.
Taking a back seat.
Yeah, back seat.
So why do you feel like it's taking a back seat? Are you losing your passion for it, or?
I don't really like it anymore, and I feel like there's a lot of things about theater that I don't like.
Like what?
I just feel like it's really hard to measure success in theater. I think maybe that's my trouble in just life. It's just I don't know what success looks like for me yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of feel like I don't know what I'm striving for because I don't know what success is, and that was kind of the problem in theater. I remember when I was younger, I would think, am I an aspiring actress or am I an actress yet? Because there's just kind of like this. It's hard to kind of define accomplishment in a profession where people don't have a lot of money and people are always going from job to job, and to me those things aren't successful, but it's also just the characteristics of being in theater. So like that kind of just didn't suit well with me.
Do you feel like that same characteristic applies to other areas in your life, like school or even other careers?
Like,
just in terms of you saying like that it's hard to determine what's successful. Do you feel that same way with school and with other careers or jobs that you've had? Or is that just...
I guess so. I never really realized it, but yeah, in school it seems like straight A's are successful, but there's also so many shortcuts to get A's and not actually obtain knowledge. So yeah, I guess so.